What if the soul isn't just something you're born with, but something you actually grow into? From science and psychology to religion and modern culture, Americans wrestle with whether the soul is a gift, a journey, or both. This video will challenge your assumptions and invite you to see yourself in a deeper, more transformative way. Welcome to Axis of Curiosity, the place where life's deepest questions meet thoughtful exploration. Today, we dive into a timeless mystery. Are we born with a soul, or do we grow one through life's journey? From science and psychology to faith and culture, this question has shaped how we understand who we truly are. If you find meaning in exploring such ideas, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who are searching for deeper insight. Let's begin this journey together. For centuries, humans have wrestled with the mystery of the soul, whether it is an eternal spark, a psychological construct, or simply a metaphor for our deepest selves. In American society, the word soul often shows up in multiple contexts. Religion uses it to point toward eternal life. Psychology treats it as a symbol of inner identity, and culture invokes it when describing music, love, or authenticity. Carl Jung once suggested that the soul represents the bridge between our conscious and unconscious mind, shaping who we are beyond the surface of personality. Religious voices, especially in Christianity, argue that the soul is the divine imprint present from birth, while others believe it develops as we struggle, grow, and make choices. Even in everyday language, people talk about soul searching during crises, or praise artists for putting their soul into their work. These layers of meaning show why the concept still matters today. It is not just about heaven or theology, but about how we define human depth, purpose, and the unseen essence of life itself. In American thought, the moment of birth is often seen as more than a biological event. It carries a spiritual weight. Many religious traditions, particularly Christianity, teach that a baby enters the world already carrying a soul, a divine imprint that marks the child as sacred and whole from the very beginning. Parents often describe holding their newborn as encountering something pure and untouchable, a presence beyond flesh and blood. Psychologists, however, suggest that while the infant may not yet have a fully formed sense of self, there is an innate potential for empathy, connection, and consciousness that feels like the seed of the soul. Across society, birth is celebrated as the arrival of not just a body but a being with unseen value, one who inspires protection, awe, and unconditional love. This belief in the soul's presence at birth gives meaning to innocence, shaping how Americans view human dignity, childhood, and the moral responsibility to nurture life from its very first breath. In the American imagination, the soul is rarely seen as something static. It is often linked to the unfolding of life itself. Experiences, whether joyful or painful, are believed to carve depth into who we are, refining what many describe as the soul. Psychologists point out that identity is shaped through challenges, losses, and moments of growth, suggesting that the soul may not arrive fully formed but rather develops as we confront life's complexity. Spiritual teachers echo this by teaching that struggle purifies the soul, much like fire strengthens metal. In everyday language, people speak of old souls, hinting that wisdom and compassion come from living deeply, rather than simply existing. Music, art, and relationships are also said to feed the soul, reminding us that culture itself plays a role in shaping inner life. Within this view, the soul is less a fixed possession and more a living story, one that evolves as we love, suffer, learn, and ultimately strive to become more human. Within American scientific and psychological circles, the soul is often reframed not as a mystical essence but as a function of consciousness. Neuroscientists argue that what people call the soul may simply be the brain's ability to generate awareness, memory, and personality. When brain chemistry changes through trauma, aging, or illness, our sense of self can alter dramatically, suggesting to some that the soul is inseparable from biology. Psychologists like William James emphasized that the inner life we associate with the soul could be understood as layers of consciousness, shaped by thought, emotion, and experience. Yet even within science, there is humility. Many researchers admit that consciousness itself remains one of the greatest mysteries. In American society, this tension shows up in everyday debates. Is the soul merely neurons firing, or is there something irreducible that science cannot capture? By framing the soul as consciousness, modern psychology offers a bridge grounded in evidence but open to the possibility that human depth may exceed measurable data. In the United States, the question of the soul's origin is deeply influenced by religious and spiritual diversity. Christianity, especially in its traditional forms, teaches that the soul is a gift from God, placed within each person at conception or birth, carrying both dignity and responsibility. This view gives meaning to salvation, morality, and eternal life. Yet, American society also includes voices from Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism, each offering distinct perspectives. Some see the soul as eternal and reincarnating, others as bound to divine judgment, and still others as dissolving into universal consciousness. Alongside these traditions, modern spirituality in the U.S. often detaches the soul from formal religion, treating it as an inner energy or higher self that can be cultivated through meditation, mindfulness, or connection with nature. This pluralism reflects the American landscape itself, a place where faith and freedom intersect. Whether rooted in God, rebirth, or personal practice, the soul remains a unifying idea, reminding people of a reality that transcends material existence. In modern American culture, the word soul often carries a meaning far beyond religion. It is invoked to describe authenticity, the sense of living in alignment with one's true self rather than just conforming to social expectations. Artists are praised for singing with soul or pouring their soul into their work, signaling that genuine creativity is born from emotional honesty. In psychology and self-help, Americans often frame personal growth as a journey of soul-searching, suggesting that fulfillment comes from uncovering deeper values and purpose. Even in everyday conversation, saying someone has a good soul reflects admiration for kindness, integrity, and emotional depth. This cultural use of the word blends spirituality with individuality, turning the soul into a symbol of inner truth. By linking it with identity and growth, Americans highlight the belief that what makes us truly human is not just achievement or status, but the capacity to live with meaning, express vulnerability, and connect with others on a profoundly human level. The question of the soul ultimately resists a single answer. Some traditions insist it is present from the very start, while others believe it unfolds through the choices, struggles, and growth of a lifetime. Perhaps the most compelling perspective is that both are true, that we are born with a spark of soul, yet we also shape and deepen it as we live, love, and learn. This tension between being and becoming is what makes the soul such a powerful idea in American society. It speaks to mystery, but also to responsibility. By holding both truths, we are invited to see life not just as survival, but as a sacred journey of becoming more fully ourselves. Thank you for watching this video. If it gave you something meaningful to reflect on, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to Axis of Curiosity for more explorations into life's deepest questions.